All right, welcome everyone. Did you guys see that I created the clean eating group that we talked about last week? Did everybody see that?
Yep. Sorry.
I saw it.
Okay. Nicole, were you going to do it? Okay. So be sure to go ahead and join that clean eating group. And if you have other coaches that want to do it with you, feel free to add them to the group, and then you can start advertising it, and advertising it. There we go. Yeah. I just mean, posting about it on your timeline or creating an event and inviting people who are interested. If anybody wants an example of what to post, just let me know. I have plenty of examples, But basically, you just want to say, would anybody be interested in a free 7-day clean eating challenge that I'm going to host with my team? And we're all going to try to eat clean for, clean and healthy for 7 days. Something simple just to pique people's interest, where you could say we'll be sharing recipes, tips, and things like that. So once you add people to the group, I'll figure out who's added people, and then, maybe we'll get a chat group together with those who have added people, and then we can all, run it. We can figure out, who's going to post on which days and, which topics we're going to cover and stuff like that. So does that make sense? Okay. But for now, I'll just start, it's, you can start adding people now. We'll consider it the prep week, right? We can even start doing some posts this week, about how to prepare, food prep and things like that. So, go ahead and, start posting about it and start adding people to the group, and then we'll go from there. Okay. Samara, I'm going to mute you up, okay, on the phone.
You're going to what?
I'm going to mute you.
Oh, okay.
All right. Okay, so tonight we are going to talk about how to expand your warm market, okay? So last week, we talked about social media, inviting, right? We talked about how to connect with people, how to attract people, how to invite people, how to handle responses and follow-ups and objections and all that good stuff, right? And I could just tell you that, I see so many coaches, especially new coaches, they fall into this trap, right? It's like they're great about posting, and, maybe the first couple months they'll hit Success Club, maybe they'll sign up a couple coaches, and then after month 2, 3, 4, depending on how many friends that they have, it's just going to dry up, right? And they're going to have no one else that is responding to their post. Even though you're posting every single day, you're posting the same thing you did in the beginning, and you're going to wonder, well, what happened? What happened to everybody that was interested in my stuff? No one's no longer interested in my stuff, right? Or, you're going to get frustrated. Like, oh, this coaching thing must not be for me because no one else is interested, But that's not the case. The case is you have stopped expanding your warm market. You've already burned through your warm market, okay? And if you keep preaching to the choir, you're not going to get any new, converts. You know what I mean? So you think of it that way. You have to have, an outreach program where you're constantly bringing new people in, okay? Now, that's, we're going to talk about that a little bit tonight on different strategies and ways that you can expand your warm market, because you need to, set goals. Because if you go through the Coach Online Office training, it's going to talk about this thing called the Business Activity Tracker. Has everybody seen the Business Activity Tracker? Okay, so what we want you to do is print that out or download it and fill it out on a weekly basis, because it'll help you set goals. Like this week, you could set a goal and you could say, by the end of this week, I want to add 10 new friends, and it allows you to kind of check it off as you go along, right? And, and it has different activities, right? Like how many friends did you add? How many invites did you do? How many did you do your personal development? Did you do your workout? Did you drink your Shakeology? These are just, kind of vital behaviors checklist type thing. That's what the business activity tracker is. And it helps you get in the habit of doing these things on a daily basis. If you've been around as long as like Brian and I have, it's second nature to us. Yes, we need to, we need to get it inviting people like, oh yeah, I haven't added enough friends this month. So, I just kicked off a free group and I've got like 60 people in there. So those are all 60 friends, so, Beachbody recommends doing 2 a day. So it doesn't matter if you do 2 a day or if you do, 60 at one time, or if you want to grow faster, do 5 a day or whatever that comes out to be, 1,500 or I'm sorry, 150, new friends a month. So it's like whatever your goals are, however fast you want to do it is how fast you want to grow your cold market, right? And bring in new friends. Now, Brian, you want to talk about how to do that on Facebook first?
Sure. Give me a second. Okay, so how to find new friends on Facebook. I'll just tell you guys, when I first started on Facebook and Greg pushed me to get on Facebook and I kept telling him, no, I don't like Facebook. Facebook isn't me. He said, you got to do it. And I said, all right, if I have to do it, I will do it. I had 10, 15 friends and I already had a Facebook account and they were all just family. My sister, my mom, I never used Facebook. So I didn't have any friends at all. So how did I find all of the friends that I have now? Even though a lot of them are all of you on the call right now too. But what I did was I used Facebook as a tool to reach out and find all of the people that I could possibly know in my whole life. And one of the first things I did was I started thinking about college. High school and college, when I graduated high school and graduated college. All of those friends back then. So with Facebook, you can actually search on your friends from your high school, friends from your college, or maybe any other kind of school that you went to. And you could actually search. And then when I was doing it, I saw all these names popping up and I'm like, oh my God, I remember that person. I remember that person. I remember that person. So then I was sending friend requests to them, friend requests. And they were friending me. And it was pretty cool actually, because some of these people I haven't talked to in such a long time. And now all of a sudden we're reconnecting on Facebook. And the whole point of it was not to reconnect with them and then send them a message and saying, okay, now buy the All Access Challenge pack. We didn't have All Access back then, but buy some Shakeology. I'm a new Beachbody coach, and we have this amazing product called Shakeology. Now buy some. And then they're going, I haven't heard from you in 15 years. What are you talking about? So it was just to expand my friends. Listen, they accepted my friend request. I don't need to tell them I'm a Beachbody coach. I don't need to tell them how much I love Shakeology, because they'll see my posts. They'll see it on my timeline. So here's a question for you guys. I know this is not about this, but if you go to your page right now, does it show that you're a coach, or does it show that you love Shakeology, or you love fitness? Are you posting about it every day? And I think we talked about this last week. I didn't have to worry about that because I'm posting about it every single day. So all of these friends that I'm making now, they're seeing what I'm doing. I don't have to put it out there and tell them this is what I'm doing, because they're getting my posts now. So make sure, and I've checked out a couple people that are in the new coach training. I'm not going to mention names, but I went to your guys' pages and I looked at it and I said, there's nothing here. Nothing tells me that you are a coach or you are Beachbody or you love Shakeology. or you love the community, the Beachbody world, there's nothing here, you know? So if you want to get serious about this business, you know, you have to, you know, you got to scream it from the top of your lungs. You got to get on that mountain, get on that plane and skywrite it. You know, you have to do it. There's no question about it. So finding new friends. So high school, college, and then I thought about the jobs that I had, my past employment. One of the jobs that I had after when I was in college in my early 20s was I worked at Outback Steakhouse. So I did a search for Outback Steakhouse, and I forget how I did it, but I haven't done it in so long. But maybe Greg can expand on it after I'm done. But you know, I put that in, and I, you know, and I Googled how to do these types of searches, and you know, and I found friends that I used to work with, that I used to be employed with. So I sent them all friend requests, and they all, you know, accepted those friend requests. Okay, so then I started thinking about what, you know, who else do I know? The people that I'm currently working with now, my current coworkers, you know, and I sent them all friend requests, and you know, everybody, and then my extended family. You know, like I said, I only had like my immediate family, so now I'm sending friend requests to all my cousins and, you know, aunts and uncles and everybody. So that's doing it that way. Now, also, if you guys have kids, you know, make sure that you are friends with your kids' friends' parents, right? If you see them around, you know, at different events that you go to for school or whatever, make sure that you're friends with them. Get to be friends with them. Everybody that I meet, I try to get them as a friend request on Facebook. I don't care who it is. You know, if I'm going to get, you know, my manicure or pedicure, the person who's doing it is going to be my friend on Facebook. You know, if I'm getting my hair cut, the person who's doing it, you know, is going to be my friend. And they are my friends on Facebook. And I've had challenge pack sales with these people, you know, that I've friended with. If I'm going to be around somebody, you know, for a while, like maybe I'm sitting next to somebody on a plane, I'm going to strike up a conversation and friend request them. And get them, not only friend request them, because if you're right there with the person, you do it. You just take out your phone and you put their name in, and you bring up them, and you say, here, and you accept it, and then you make them send you a friend request, and you accept it. So it's everybody. People that you come in contact with daily, you know, all the time. I can't believe we have this in the notes. It says guy at the gas station. So if you're at a gas station and you're pumping gas and somebody else pulls up, go ask him to friend request him. And then after he calls the police, you know, ask the cop for a friend request, you know, as you're going to jail, all the criminals, you know. You guys get my point though. You know, don't feel, I hate telling people how to feel, so don't try to get over the fear of saying, well, I feel kind of silly asking my manicurist to be friends on Facebook. You know, get over that fear. You know, just think if it was you, you know, somebody said to you, you know, friend request, you'd be like, yeah, of course. Yeah, let's be friends on Facebook. So, you know, just kind of get over that conversation. It's social media, and do it that way. Greg?
Yeah, sure. So I'm going to post a video in the comments by
Brooks. That's
Brooke Lipoff. She talks in depth, and she shows you how to use the Facebook graph search. The graph search is that bar, you know, that bar where you can put in somebody's name and search on them, or you can put in a group. Well, it's really a lot more powerful than that. You can put in an email address, you can put in a phone number, you can put in really complex expressions like friends of friends who live in, you know, Utah or wherever you live. You know, like you want to see friends of friends who live in New York City, right? And you know, obviously if you live in New York City and you want to connect with friends of friends, well, they're going to see when you send them a friend request, they're going to see, oh, you know, they're friends of Susie or Bob or whoever, right? And they see that you live in New York, so they're going to be more likely to accept your friend request. All right, I'm going to mute up Ryan there. you can also do friends of friends who are interested in yoga, for example. Let's say you are interested in yoga, right? And it'll show you friends of friends who are interested in yoga, right? And then you just send them a friend request. And then you just start up the conversation that said, oh, hey, I saw, thanks for accepting my friend request. I saw you were a friend of Susie. I see you love yoga too. You know, you check out their profile or whatever. And you just start up a conversation, right? That's your goal. Your goal is not to try to sell them something. Your goal is not to try to, you know, necessarily invite them to something right away. Your goal is just to, you know, create a new friend, create a new follower, strike up a conversation, right? So there should be really no fear in that. Now let me tell you about something else. A good exercise, and you might have heard this before, is, and for those in the Diamond Dash, right, I think it was this week's topic of creating your avatar, right? So create a list of, you know, 5 or 10 things that you are interested in, right? It could be attributes of you or attributes of what you are interested in doing, right? So let's say you know, for me, I'm a dad, right? I'm into technology. I love movies. I love TV shows like The Walking Dead. You know, maybe you love sports. You know, what sports do you love? Maybe you love dogs. Maybe you love Disney. Maybe you love, you know, different, you know, if you're into any type of fitness or nutrition aspects like running or biking or paleo diet or, you know, anything like that, of course, that's going to be a great thing to put down on your list, right? To get people, because that's an easy transition into, you know, our world. So those are all great topics. But, you know, create a list of like 10 things, right? And then you can use those 10 things to search for you. So you could search them in the graph search, like friends and friends who are interested in bulldogs, right? It's like, you know, I got a bulldog, right? Now, something else that you can do is you can search Facebook groups. You can go to that search bar and you can search Facebook groups. So let's say you're interested in paleo, or maybe you're interested in Disney or whatever. Maybe you're interested in football. You know, you search groups and you're going to find tons of groups on any interest that you are interested in. Then you can join these groups, right? And your goal is not to post in these groups about Beachbody, right? You don't want to do that, right? That's immediately going to turn people off. You know, they might kick you out. You know, your goal is just to, you know, you're interested in this, right? If it's a mom's group, you know, if it's whatever, or raising, you know, bulldog group or whatever, right? You can talk to people about what you're interested in, and your goal is to make friends. So as soon as you start talking to people and strike up a conversation, you know, you get people that comment on your post, or you comment on someone's post, just start friending people, you know? So when people, you know, you're going to hear a lot of top coaches, a lot of girl top coaches, this is their number one strategy for finding people that are like them in their tribe. You know, that's what they'll say. These are my tribe, right? You know, it's people like them. What they'll do is they'll go into these groups for an hour a day, or however long they set aside, 30 minutes a day, and they'll, you know, like, comment, post, and then they'll, you know, maybe come back like, you know, the next day or a couple hours later, and then friend every single person that liked them, right? Or commented or whatever, like their post. And that's what you want to do, right? So you guys, you may say, like, the first objection you guys are thinking in your head when Brian said you need to start friending like every single person, right? Or getting 10 a day or 20 a day. You're like, I don't know that many people. How am I going to friend that many people? This is how you do it, right? You just go into groups with the ideal that you're going to start friending people. Now, one thing that you have to get over is you have to get over the fact that, oh, my profile is only for people that I know. It's only for my family and for my close friends, because I want to just share pictures of my kids and, you know, whatever. No, right? This is a business, right? So we want to share with everyone. We want as many people to come as possible. Now, if you absolutely cannot get over the fact that you're not a business on Facebook, right? And you can't start inviting people on Facebook, that's okay, right? If you can't get over the fact that you can't invite people that you don't know, that's fine. Go to Instagram, okay? You probably don't have an account on Instagram. You don't have friends and family on Instagram. Start a new account on Instagram. And you can do the same thing. Take those same interests and search hashtags. Instagram, I don't think has groups, right? They have hashtags, right? So you can search those hashtags, right? And you can start posting on Instagram. Just go wild on Instagram, because who cares, right? You have nothing to be afraid of because no one knows you, and who cares what people think, right? So just go nuts. And you can start, liking 100 people a day, or following or hearting or whatever you do on Instagram, right? You just search those hashtags and just, get as many people as possible and strike up conversations, right? You can do direct messages on Instagram. And one thing that's very important is you want to keep track of like who you're liking and following and friending, essentially, right? So that, after you love on them for a week or 2 weeks or whatever, right? After you build that relationship, you can send that invitation to them. And I would not suggest sending them an invite to like a paid challenge group, right? Somebody that you just met, that you just striked up a conversation with. It doesn't matter if they were somebody from high school or somebody that you just didn't even know, that you met in a group or you met by searching a hashtag. I would not invite them to a paid group. What I would do is I would invite them to a free group, right? So every single month you should be running a free group, right? It could be a clean eating, it could be a fitness, it could be whatever you're passionate about. It really doesn't matter. Just run some type of free group where you can give value. You want to invite them to that, It's like, say, hey, Joe, I'm kicking off a 10-day or 7-day clean eating challenge, starting next Monday. Would you be interested in that? And I guarantee you 99% of the time, they're going to say, yeah, I'd do that, and it doesn't matter if you just met them 2 weeks ago and just started up a conversation, or if they were an old friend from high school, they'd say, yeah, I'd do that, right? And then you get them in that 7-day group or that 10-day group, and you give value to them and you engage with them, and you make it fun, create contests and prizes, and you continue that private conversation with them behind the scenes for another 10 days where you're actively engaged with them. And then you hit them up for the paid challenge group, right? Okay, now that this free group is over, then you can start talking about like, okay, now I have this premier challenge group or this VIP group, this Beachbody group that I would love to get you into, where I could be your coach and your mentor, for life. And I can help you get a workout program and help you with your diet. Would you be interested in that? And I can guarantee you that most of them probably would say yes. If you already built that relationship, right, with the 2 weeks of talking to them and friending them, right, and you have that interest, whatever it is in common, and then you get them into a free group where you give more value to them and you're showing yourself as a coach, right? It could be on finances. It could be on whatever you're good at, right? Getting out of debt. It could be, whatever, knitting. It doesn't matter. It's just, if you had an interest group with people who are interested in that subject, then after that 10 days, it always helps if it's something like clean eating or fitness, because that makes it an easier transition to the Beachbody, right? So that's why I always do those, something related to that. It could be a paleo, it could be a Whole30, it could be, I'm currently doing a low carb, high fat, which is hugely popular, So it's really up to you, but you guys get the idea of how to do it. Brian, you want to show them the free group training that we have and talk about that a little bit? Take yourself off mute.
Sure. All right. You guys see my screen?
Yep.
Okay. So we have a free challenge group training. If I can find it now. Where the heck is it? Here it is.
There it is. Yep.
Sorry, guys. Okay. So we have a Facebook group, free challenge group training. Okay, this is a self-paced group, and it's going to teach you from point A to start, how to get it going, everything that we're kind of discussing tonight, all the way up until getting the group open and running your group. So the first place you want to start, is everybody here part of this group? Tom? Samara? Nope, I'm going to add you, Samara. Nicole? Nope, I'm going to add Nicole. And I know Wendy is, right? Did I miss anybody on the call? That's it, yeah. Okay, so I just added you guys there. So first place you want to look is going to be the pin post that Greg has created. Because this is going to give you the timeline of what you should do in order, everything that you should do in order. So you can see the first post is about how I run my clean eating free groups. The second post, tracking and following up, how I run my free fitness groups, how to create professional pictures with PicMonkey. You know, because if you're running a free group, you know, you want to be able to have, you know, make it look professional and have some really nice pictures, maybe make some collages. That's what I use to make all of my collages and different things is PicMonkey. PicMonkey is awesome and it's free. What to post in your free group, how to create videos if you use PicPlayPost. I used to use that a lot. I don't really use it too much anymore because, you know, we're kind of on the Challenge Tracker app and PicPlayPost isn't working with the Challenge Tracker app, so you can't really see the video. So this is a good one. Talk about Facebook like page, how to create events to promote the free group, and then finally your call to action. So this is all great information, but this is my favorite part of this group is the Google Drive. The Google Drive is incredible because we have packed it full of so many different ideas for free groups. And we give you everything. We give you the posts. We give you the pictures. We give you the timeline. We give you the instructions. We give you the invitation posts. And there's so much stuff in there. So if you click that on, it's going to take you to the drive, to the Google Drive. And you're going to see all of this amazing stuff that is in here by all top coaches, by all of the coaches who have success with these groups. 7-Day Clean Eating. Here's Christine's free 30-day group. You know, Jatana's, this is one of my favorites, 30 days free. Just Say No Sugar Challenge.
Scroll
and then
back up to the top. I think there's a directory. Yeah, there's a couple directories there with.
Yeah. 7-Day Healthy. Which one? Let me see this. You can be in here all day. Look at this. The first directory, 10-Day Smoothies, 12 Days of Fitness, 3-Day Fixate, Clean Eating. Megan Eggleston's. This one is awesome. Megan's, because she gives you everything, all the images, the menus. You know, guys don't got to come up with the menus. The workouts, you know, these are not Beachbody workouts. They're just other, you know, little workouts that you can do. She's got this great free guide. Start here, you know, how to run a 5-day group. And then it's going to open up this Google Doc. And it's going to give you all these instructions, you know, what to do a week before. You know, she's giving you the posts here, what to post on Monday, the week before, what to post on Tuesday. Then she's giving you instructions on what to do, private message, existing contacts, and she even tells you what to say. Now, you don't really want to use it word for word, but you're going to get an idea. You still want it to come from you, everything that, because with somebody that you're going to say, that doesn't really sound like Samara, but it sounds like she's saying that it just doesn't sound like her. So put it in your own words. Make sure it's coming from you, but here's a guideline that you can go off of. It's so awesome, and she tells you as people respond what to do. It's all there. It's people always say, well, I don't know how to run a free group. It's all there. All you got to do is follow the instructions. It's kind of like getting that, thing from IKEA, and then you have the instructions and put it together. But I always have like a few screws left over, so I don't know what happens there. But it's all there. So this is a great one. We have another one here with more free group ideas, another Google Drive. And this one's got a lot of stuff too. Busy moms, clean eating, crockpot, financial. Look, like Greg mentioned, it doesn't always have to be about fitness. Here's a 5-day financial freedom group. Who did that? Jamie Shepard, one of the top elite coaches. These are groups that what got them successful, what made them top coaches. And they're all right here for you guys to just kind of grab and use. So lots of stuff there. All you guys are in it. You've been added. So no excuse. You can get all this.
They even give you meal plans and shopping lists that you can share with people. I mean, they lay it all out for you. They'll give you like a 7-day meal plan and shopping list that you can give people. So it's you're giving them a lot of value, right? Yeah, and like there's day one, right? That's the menu for day one that you would post. Day two, yeah. So I mean, great stuff.
Mm-hmm. So and there's just so much stuff. This Google Drive, there's 2 of them in there, like I showed you, 2 of them in there, and boom, you'll never run out of content. You can run a different free group every couple weeks for the next 3 years with the content that is there. I mean, seriously, it's crazy. And then here's all of those posts. Awesome video. When I first started doing my free groups, this is the video that I watched, Tana Jackson's video. That was the one that I watched, and I followed exactly what she was doing down to my like page and doing the invites and what to say. Make sure that they like your like page and become friends with you before you add them into the group. It's great. So all of this stuff is all right here.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Brian. So yeah, guys, definitely go through that. I mean, you don't have to watch all the videos. Like if you're already familiar with pick, play, post, and how to create an event, just stick those. I mean, I think if you just watch like the first 1 or 2, you'll get an idea, right? You'll get the gist of it, and then you could just look at the Google Drive, and it gives you step by step, like Brian said. So, I would say, take that step, get over that fear and just set a date right now, set a date, for this month or for next month of when you can when you're going to run your first one, right? Make it at least 2 weeks out because, right, that gives you a week to invite people.
I mean, we're going to run this one together coming up. That the May 29th one, the 7-day group. So you can get your feet wet with that by start inviting and talking to people about it and having them come and join. Anybody can join. They don't have to be your customer or anything. Anybody can come and join the 7-day free. So you get your feet wet there, but also what Greg is saying in the back of your head, go, okay, so I'm going to get my feet wet with May 29th, but my own free group is going to start on June 5th. And that is the date. I'm writing it down, and I'm going to stick to it. So let the work begin. Let me watch those videos that Greg just talked about, the first couple of ones. Let me peruse through that Google Drive and find one that I'm going to have an interest in. Maybe it's not the financial one. Maybe it's the water challenge. I don't know. That I'm going to be interested in, and then I'm going to read all the documentation on that one, and I am going to make this thing happen. There's nothing that's going to stop me. Because the first thing you got to do, what Greg said, write that date down. Commit to it. Commit to it that is the day that the group is going to start, and then get to work.
Right. Yeah. Like, yeah. So I forgot we're doing the one together this month, right? At the end of the month. So plan it for June, right? You know, just pick a date in June and then start working towards it, you know? And like Tom, I was thinking about you, right? I mean, you run a fit club at work, right? But you are not currently helping them out with their nutrition, right? I mean, I doubt you're meeting with them and going over their nutrition and plan and meal planning with them and providing them a menu and all that stuff, right? But I bet you they would love to get in a group where you could focus on nutrition. And you could even do it kind of like a diet bet challenge. Like people do like diet bet challenges at work all the time, right? So let's say, you know, even people who are not in your fit group, right? Let's say you went around to your office and said, hey, would anybody be willing to join a, you know, like it wouldn't be a real diet bet challenge, right? But it would just be like, anybody who joins my group, you could chip in $20 into a pot, and you know, whoever loses the most, or maybe the top 3 people that lose the most weight at the end of the month or the end of 60 days or whatever, you know, you could do that kind of fun thing, right? And that gets a lot of people interested. And you know, you can always have a big pot of money, you know. So I've done those type things before. Obviously, you know, the 1 week challenges are fun and easy, but if you can get people engaged for 30 days, you know, with a weight loss challenge, that could be really popular too, you know. And then every day, you know, you're giving them, you know, posts about nutrition, about drinking water, about workouts that you're doing, you know, encouraging them, showing yourself as a coach, you know what I mean? So I think we covered everything with expanding your warm market, or at least kind of gave you an overview of it. Do you guys have any questions?
How do I get to what you just showed for the Facebook, the Engage? How do you get to it? Like, how do I go to that?
To that group? So Brian just added you, right? So you should have a notification
there. Okay.
And I can give you the link, as the direct link as well. And Brian could probably post it in your chat, but I'll post it in this chat right here. And you guys can copy it or whatever. But just add it to your shortcuts or to your favorites, you know. And then, you know, after you go through it, you'll become an expert and, you know, create a bookmark to that Google Drive. So,
yeah, you'll get a you know, a Facebook notification when you log into your Facebook next time, whether it's on your phone or your computer. You'll see in your notifications that you've been added to this group. Then you can click it on, and it'll open up, and then you can, you know, like save it to your favorites, you know, and you'll always get there.
Okay.
awesome.
Because that's why I lost the Instagram when I was watching that video, and then it disappeared, and I've never been able to go back to whatever that was. That
Oh,
Facebook.
really? Oh,
It was there, but I just get back to it.
okay. I just posted the Instagram videos again in the chat. So the one is the mastermind training, which I shared, right? And the other one is the Instagram 101 training that Jen Richardson gave. So if you guys want to go through those, you know, those are, she is an expert at, she's a 15-star diamond, by the way, right? 15-star diamond. I think she did it in a couple of years, and she did it 100% on Instagram. So.
Nice. Okay, thanks.
Yep.
Oh, you already posted it. Whoops.
I posted it. Pablo says you can always select to save the video. So, yeah, I mean, you can either bookmark or save the links, or you can, you know, Pablo, are you talking about saving it to Facebook, or you can actually download it if you want? Okay. Yeah, he's saying you could save it on Facebook. If you just click on the right-hand corner, like of something in Facebook, you can save it to your favorites or whatever.
Exactly, that would save it to a folder where you can access it later.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Okay. Thanks.
Oh, you can mute me, Greg. Sorry.
Well, does anybody have anything else, or shall we wrap up? No?
Samar, I'm also sending you an email with all these links too.
Yep.
Thank you.
Copy the
Mark-
chat. All right, guys, we'll wrap up.
And then chat.
At 9 o'clock Eastern, like 15 minutes, we will have the Business Builders call, where we're going to be talking about the UK expansion. And for those who didn't, watch the videos and participate in all the calls today, you can attend that call as well. And we're going to talk about things that we can do now and things that we can't do now in the UK. All right. So otherwise, we'll see you guys next week at 8 o'clock. All right.
Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
Yep.
Good night.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
All right.
Brian, I have another question for you.
Sure.
There.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
here.